which, no complaints about it. They're still very, very solid. But like you said, sometimes you do need to adjust. We even did see the Lucio and Ariel picked yesterday in Kings of the Storm, which was effective until it lost.
Yeah.
Fnatic versus X. Oh, no, that was Synergies. Yeah, Fnatic did win that game.
Yeah, it was basically Team Expert who crushed that comp for the very first time, and until then, it was unbeaten. Lucio Oriel, super powerful until they found their master in Team Expert.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing like you said, priorities are slightly different in China. We see the Morales as the first ban by KIS.
Insane, and this is really something that's unique to China. I don't think any other region would put that much emphasis on a Morales ban of first pick potentially. But let's face it, Morales is a good hero on this match. She provides so much stability to that 4-man or 3-man lane down in the bottom, and especially pairs off well with heroes like Zul'jin, who's actually a common sight here more and more as well. Especially with that guy. I can't believe Tassadar made it all the way through.
Yeah, Sonya banned out instead. Like, yeah, she's a very strong solo laner and quite good at clearing the Zerg. She heals off them, but as a ban, it is very unusual to our Western eyes.
Especially when there's heroes like Zarya, like Tassadar available. All those shielders basically are, you know, not really liked in the Western Hemisphere because it's so hard to play against those guys. The way you normally want to play in competitive Heroes of the Storm is you want to go for a target, shot call that one down, and focus it as hard as you can. Now, with Tassadar and Zarya on the field, you kind of have to play around that because one plasma shield, one barrier onto an ally can really hinder your plans and thwart them entirely. For the same reason, Medivh is always such a tricky pick to play against, but Medivh has not really found his way to China just yet. And there we go, Lucio Thatcher has been locked down by XTeam.
Yeah. The double Overwatch comp, and that is probably the reason they did ban out Zarya, Sonya, so they could get control of that Zarya. They're like, we feel comfortable letting our opponents have Tassadar. It's been banned. We don't care if it's still the highest priority. We would prefer Zarya for whichever team comp we plan on doing. So they still look good. They now have mobility. They now have really strong healing, and they have burst protection. So already a great opening for XTeam.
Great opening indeed. Now KIS, what are they going to respond with? They could now pick someone like Vala or Zul'jin, so you basically have that dream combo between strong ranged auto attacker and Tassadar, who provides life leech, who provides additional burst protection against something like a Zarya later on. So what are they going to go for? They go for Oriel? Okay, so they secure themselves the double support. Vala or Zul'jin? Yeah, I was going to say. That is a very safe triple combo to pick here for sure.
Yep, and that is good. Zul'jin. A little bit more versatility and a little bit safer against Zarya, in my opinion, than Vala. Because Vala, you're going to multi-shot. There's a good chance you're going to hit someone with a shield.
True.
Zul'jin, you're very much targeting people down. He's one of the most target-focused assassins in the game. So we can seriously get some good value in that particular circumstance. ETC banned out. Not going to see the new cow yet.
Unfortunately not. But with the arrival of Zul'jin, we might actually see a Cassia, potentially, if the Chinese teams have practiced her enough. Because keep in mind that Cassia adds a whole new dynamic to the game. She's extremely good against any form of auto-attack damage, physical damage, that is because of her trait, which gives her a 65% damage reduction while moving. And this could come in really, really handy when facing someone like Zul'jin. For now, it remains to be seen, though, if China has practiced enough. We can't really fault or blame them if they're not going to play Cassia, because truth be told, you always need a couple of weeks to adjust to the new hero fully. Now, Zul'jin, as I mentioned, or as you mentioned, is a little bit safer against the Zarya, true, because you can't hit her shields by accident unless you heavily misclick, right? And I don't think that's going to happen here.
Or you pick guillotine, which
exactly.
Also not going to happen here.
But he also comes with a little bit of a drawback on this map. Vala, with her multi-shot, provides excellent wave clear against the Zergs, for example, or against just normal minion and mercenary waves. Zul'jin doesn't really have that. His blades are not as reliable as the multi-shot, so he comes with a little bit of a drawback when it comes to later Zerg dealing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick a tank that could potentially attempt to deal with this. Maybe Johanna, with good opposite wave clear. Diablo, but he's not as popular on this map anymore.
Yeah.
So Arthas as well, just any kind of tank with AoE, because they already have Tassadar. Johanna being stolen away, though, by XTeam. Very clever.
Yeah, I really think they hit the nail on the head here. They're trying to prevent their opponent's KIS to gain any form of wave clear, and that's exactly why they're also going to pick Dehaka. That is a very strong front line here. Yeah, I was going to say triple warrior. Now you're going to have to deal a lot of damage in order to punch through that. Dehaka also an excellent sonar linear that you can put in top. So KIS, they're going to have to respond to that.
Affect Zul'jin here. They have built XTeam, looking at their team comp, KIS have built a team comp around we think this will work and it will be cool. XTeam have built a team comp around the map and around their opponents. Right now it's going to be who can play it better.
Exactly. That's a very good comparison here. We see a clash of strategies, a clash of philosophies almost. You focus on your own strengths in your team comp, or you try to play the map a little bit more. Which one is going to reign supreme? Now, they still need a warrior. Arthas is still available, as you mentioned, but so is Muradin. It looks like they want to have that super strong battle dwarf in the front line to hold their own and to maybe just lock a target down, because the stun synergy now that they have potentially for the late game is pretty serious here. We have the the Oriole Detainment Strike, we have that Stormbolt potential for Muradin, and a Sunder most likely, because Sundering has become more and more popular over the last few weeks and months. You rarely get to see any Earthquake anymore.
Indeed. Going to be interesting to see, but it does give them an opportunity for a Giant Killer, which they did not have up until this point, so that's a good chance we will see that. But it is Lunara, once again, as the final pick coming in here for XTeam. Lunara does have absurd damage output and does have a decent amount of burst.
Against double support, though?
Protector. I don't... It is weird. I think I would have preferred someone like maybe Sergeant Hammer. If you're going for that hard of a front line, you want someone who's going to have the maximum damage output while you protect.
Yeah.
Lunara is going to have a huge amount of damage output. It's going to be very protected because she doesn't have a huge amount of self-heal. In fact, she has no self-heal unless you pick a bad talent. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if her damage output's enough, but all of the tanks that she has picked have some form of damage style. You can run Zarya with a grenade build that can do a huge amount of damage. Dehaka can, of course, lower armor and also does a very large amount of damage to the backline. And Johanna, she's just consistent harass. So overall, they do have the chance of killing people if they can get some good focusing.
Yeah, very true. I remain a little bit skeptical about that Lunara, though, because especially against a hero like Oriole, who's known to deliver those deadly AoE heals constantly without even worrying about mana either in that lane phase, I think it's going to be a little bit hard for them to really make something happen. But as you said, Tetcher, with that triple frontline, Zarya and Dehaka, I mean, it's going to be, and Johanna of course as well, it's going to be really hard for the enemies to punch through and ever threaten that Lunara. So maybe during those longer drawn out skirmishes, eventually Lunara's damage and poison damage is going to be enough to win them that engagement and to force the enemies back. It remains to be seen. I think she's an exceptional harasser as well, and that comes in really handy when you fight around those beacons, because sooner or later you're going to drive one of the enemies back to heal. And remains to be seen how well XTeam can work their comp on this map. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for game number 1 here in Week 2 of HGC China between KIS and XTeam.
Yes, it is starting on Braxis Holdout, and we're going to be starting on the left-hand side with Team KIS. We're going to have Ariel, Muradin, Zul'jin, Thrall, and Tassadar coming in for KIS. They have a little bit of a good spread across the games there. Diablo, Warcraft, etc.
Absolutely, and their opponents, a little bit favored, I might want to say, XTeam. Despite losing game, or last week, we have Lucio, Lunara, Johanna, Zarya, and last but not least, good old Dehaka, who's probably going to take that solo lane, and who's going to provide additional mobility as well, because you can never count out a Dehaka. He can pop up anywhere on the map as long as there are bushes nearby, but we now see an engagement coming off right off the get-go. Lunara getting stunned here, getting focused a little bit, but Zarya is here to keep her safe and warm for now.
Yeah, the triple spinning blades by Zul'jin right at the start there, already gaining his team a little bit of a chance. We see the perfect storm coming in here for Muradin, so he's going to try and build his damage output as well. They're definitely going for some kind of blow-up style here. And of course, Thrall is just going to be solo laning against Dehaka up there. He has a little bit of a range advantage thanks to that lightning poke, which will give him some sustain too. But Dehaka's clear, far better. And Muradin's just tanking shots there. That was strange.
It's really interesting to see the rise of Thrall again as well the moment a Sonya is banned. And I think Sonya is so good right now that we can expect more bans throughout the tournament or throughout the league. But Thrall, he is a little bit of a controversial hero right now because we're not yet certain if he's really back in the meta or if he's just a sort of emergency solution when Sonya is not available for your team.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people picking Alarak as well, but for the same reason. It seems it's Sonya or backup seems to be the options at the moment for a lot of teams. So Zul'jin, right now, he's attempting to build stacks. He's even going through the Zarya shield, just letting her have the energy just to build up his stacks on his level 1.
And it's so hard to really punch through that. Zul'jin is a constant harasser here as well. He gets shot down, he gets threatened, but guess what? Oriel, almost full energy, is going to bring him back in good shape. Now he's running a little bit low on mana, has to take the healing fountain for now, HD that is. And that can actually be quite crucial because oftentimes the team that has the healing fountains available for a longer period of time is going to be able to reign supreme in that early skirmish. Now we don't see a 3-2 split, by the way. It's a classic 4-1 split indeed. Miracle a little bit in trouble here against Ratatatatat on that Dehaka, so for reigning supreme in the top lane.
What we don't see, however, we don't see Demolition's Expert, and we don't see the Energy Talent on level 1 for Zarya. It is going to be Feel the Heat, the damage style, coming in for Zarya here.
Yeah, that basically means that the closer the enemies are to Zarya, the more damage she is going to deal. And that pairs off really, really well with her level 7 auto-attack talent as well, which gives her a longer range. So Zarya, if she is fully charged like Teacher H is right now, you can't underestimate her damage ever. And the more auto-attacks you hit while she's standing close to you, like she's doing now, look at that, Zul'jin is about to melt here. KIS HD, very, very low, Teacher. Yeah,
very clutch shield at the end there. But yeah, Zarya is treating herself as a frontliner, even though they do already have 2 of them. Doing a good job. Thrall losing to Dehaka in a melee fight.
Yeah.
Thrall will lose until Dehaka runs out of essence. Good burrow there, protecting himself. But Muradin coming in, not able to get it. Good jukes there by
one of the coolest nicknames in Heroes of the Storm history. Or one of the hardest ones if you're a caster. All right.
It's very flow breaking, but it is very fun. So we're going to see the first Zerg wave coming in for XTeam, 100-0 here, and they are crushing straight through as aggressively as they can. Lunara dropping some great damage output in this early game, continuously harassing Zul'jin, making his life as difficult as possible. Ariel trying to assist their team.
They have no wave glow, Teacher.
Both of the sweeping strike talents.
Yeah, they have barely any wave glow. You can really see how they're struggling against that Zergs. I mean, normally you don't really get that much value with that first Zerg wave. It's actually a common sight that you only get the towers, you maybe weaken the fort a little bit, bring it down to 70% or so. But XTeam, they are punching through this. They are not stopping. They're relentless and constantly pushing forward. And this is all, I think, due to the lack of wave clay that they have, because Tassadar is pretty much the only source right now. And guess what? The Psystorms aren't really hitting that hard. And
couldn't even pick a Psystorm talent. He went for the auto-attack style, which is going to give him some good mana sustain, but it's going to make it a bit rougher in the late game. Also, his level 4 talent, I believe that is the extra life leech.
No, that's the speed, I think.
Speed?
Yeah,
it is speed.
Yes.
I know purple is armor, because that's all anyone used to pick for about a month.
Exactly, and green is the life leech, the colors embrace, I think.
That does make a lot of sense. So, level 7 available for XTeam here. We have that Battle Momentum, whatever it's called, for Johanna. I couldn't remember what her specific one is called. Lunara going for the Splintered Spear, going to try and get that AoE damage in, make it as hard as possible for Ariel, going to force the team to group, and hopefully, if she goes for a Thornwood Find, that's going to make it even rougher. So if you group, you get Thornwood Find, if you split, you get Splintered Spears, going to make it very rough for them.
Yeah, and speaking of talent builds here, I also have to criticize Thrall's talent build a little bit, because I don't think that pokey chain lightning style that you're normally used to seeing really works against Dehaka, because you mentioned his essence is so strong when it comes to self-sustaining, and I don't think Thrall is in any position to poke down a Dehaka, so maybe going for block instead, and maybe even an Envenom would have done him more service to really win that one-on-one battle in lane. So I don't think I would have gone for the same build. Now follow through though is going to help his damage output quite a bit.
It should indeed. We do also have, by the way, the extra range and radius, width, sorry, of the auto attack of Zarya. She has gone for the full auto attack style, which is very fun. See if it works for her. Going in onto Lunara, with Zarya coming in to try and help her team. Muradin's dropped very low. Gets the Dwarf Toss though, gets that armor. And shield dropped onto Zul'jin. It is in fact the speed, and Muradin does go down. Now we see a bit of a rough situation for Tastar. He doesn't have Dimensional Shift ready, and as such, will get taken out as well. And it's another kill going over to XTeam. 2 kills to 1 right now. They want Zul'jin too, but they can't dive.
So good. Once again, Tao on the Lucio proving to be why Lucio is considered the player killer numero uno right now. Yesterday, Smexy got an insane amount of executions here because you just can't run away from him. He is such a nuisance when it comes to, you know, chasing people down because of his mobility and his movement speed. Now, something I didn't really consider, or we didn't really touch upon during the draft, one of the strengths of Lunara is, of course, that poison against Zul'jin, because he, if he activates his Berserk trait, is going to deal damage upon himself as well, and especially later on when he has that Tastingo available, one poison tick from Lunara is going to be enough to immediately kill him once he falls to 1 or 2 health points. So that might be another reason why they consider that Lunara to be so strong against the lineup from KIS.
Very potentially. Once again, more spinning blades by Zul'jin, just attempting to zone right now, playing the drums, keeping himself sustained without having to burn some of the mana of Tassadar here, who is very high on mana thanks to that auto attack talent, working well for him. The clearing is slow, but they are going to get done eventually. Tassadar's still very much helping out with that. It is just this world's slowest clear. Zul'jin slowly ticking it up. Muradin, once again, tanking aggressively, spinning blades, getting the slow, and that will allow Muradin to escape.
Now level 10 is online for XTeam, and we see their heroic abilities coming out. Blessed Shield, Adaptation, Sound Barrier, Explosion Zone, and Leaping Strike. And guess what? Dehaka catches another one. Man, Thrall is not having a good game at all, and despite him being 2 levels or 1 level down, I don't think you should ever get caught against a Dehaka like that, because you have the superior mobility on Thrall thanks to your Wind Fury. So a little bit of an individual mistake here as well coming in from Tao.
Yeah, a good dive here coming in from XTeam, trying to chase it. They already got Zul'jin, and Muradin is going to lose that fight in the bot lane to Dehaka very, very slowly.
Oh my
god,
he almost gets another one.
Burrow right at the end, and Muradin will actually escape. But the objective still held by Dehaka, and that's actually great. That's going to mean that Dehaka does lose this, the fact that Muradin escaped, because Dehaka moved off the point, and Muradin will self-heal. Dehaka needs minions to do the same.
But it's still a very rough spot for KIS to be in. XTeam is dominating both lanes so far. No more forts available for KIS, and despite Dehaka getting out-pushed now, I think they're basically fine with it, because as long as they keep getting value elsewhere, it's totally fine, because they are so far ahead right now. They are leading 11-9, almost 10 here for KIS though. And is it going to be enough for them to catch up eventually? The Zerg wave is now heavily in favor of XTeam once more, and here it comes, Tetcher.
Here it comes indeed, XTeam pushing in aggressively with this. They have everyone except Dehaka heading down this top lane to try and get some kind of aggressive pressure on. They have their heroics. The heroics are about to be hit for KIS though, so they're going to have them for the defense. The question is, which ones are actually going to help them? None of them really going to add a huge amount of extra clear other than Tassadar.
So Teacher H did something very, very nice on any Zarya, basically. He went close to the towers and absorbed a couple of shots to fill up his energy meter. But as well, HD, on that Zul'jin, he filled her up entirely almost by himself, so you should really pay more attention to not attacking Zarya when she shielded herself or her allies.
Indeed, love that energy. Look at that, it's building up even more there, but it's actually still getting chunked.
They're winning 4 versus 5.
Zul'jin chasing back. They are fighting 4 versus 5, and they're actually having a bit of a rough time for it. The Earthquake is dropped by Thrall. Zarya has had to pull all the way back, and instead it's going to be Johanna getting focused down. But Zul'jin killed off Dehaka with the burrow in, getting a nice sneaky kill there. Johanna escapes. Zarya with no health, doing any damage she can. Thrall finally getting some worth in. A drag by Dehaka, though, denying. Lunara dropping low, able to escape, turning it around, and it is so far a 3-for-1 in favor of XTeam. The Zerg wave has reached the core, but there's only Guardians left, and now we're just seeing XTeam attempting to grab themselves one more kill. They don't. Muradin able to dwarf us away, and XTeam now in full retreat.
Ratatat came in hard in that team fight. He basically flanked the enemy team, he flanked KIS from an unexpected angle, and he made his team reign supreme in that team fight. But you also have to criticize Zul'jin. I'm not sure why HD didn't use the Tastingo. It was available, he wasn't silenced, he wasn't stunned, so he could have actually activated it preemptively to live another day potentially. So that early death of Zul'jin really cost him the team fight. And even if XTeam had lost that team fight, if Zul'jin had remained alive, for example, it would have still been a huge victory, because guess what? Losing 1 or 2 or even 3 heroes is always worth it when you get permanent value in terms of keeps on the top lane here on Brex's controller. So really, really well played by XTeam. They're in a commanding lead right now.
They are looking really good. And what do you think about the fact that the movement speed shield, maybe the armor, would have protected the heroes against the kind of leaping strike damage that Lunara is offering a bit more?
Yeah, it's really, really rough. And of course, even if Zul'jin ends up getting sounds, or if he ends up getting stunned, there is a problem in the team come from KIS against that, because they have no cleanse to prevent that from happening. The only thing they have in terms of protection is the Crystal Aegis. So you might really criticize those no cleanse comms in terms of, survivability and preventing your allies from dying too early, especially when there's a Dehaka or a Johanna lockdown available.
They interrupt the B of Mura. Mura very much surrounded now, not even going to pop Avatar. He knows he's dead.
Yeah, he knows he's dead.
Just going to run away and take the deaths.
No panic ulti here.
As possible. Nope, he could have probably dropped a Storm Bolt though, got himself another stack at least, but instead he spent the time buying his team as much time as possible so they can clear top without danger. Unfortunately though, XTeam, they're not going to declare top, they're leaving Dehaka to do that while they go for the boss. But with Dehaka currently doing that, Dehaka now has to rotate down because it's currently a 4 versus 4. Here's Dehaka from behind, burrowing in. Once again, it's a good opportunity. The poison, so much of it. Expulsion zone zones out with the boss extra damage 2 on Zul'jin. He gets shredded. They do lose Lucio, but this fight is over. Tassadar, only survivor, and the boss is taken by XTeam.
That was so well played once again from XTeam. The Dehaka coming in strong once more, and you could actually see that KIS was pinging towards that bush next to Tassadar because they knew that this was the only location where a potential assault from Chaka could come in, but still, it wasn't enough to prevent them from losing this team fight. And you could really see the strong synergy between Dehaka and Zarya here as well. The moment Dehaka came in, Zarya immediately threw down the explosions to prevent KIS from running away, and that was an easy licky-sticky target for the tongue, and that was just well played and so well coordinated by XTeam as well.
Muradin making the smart move there. He could have stayed up there to try and cap. That would have put him in danger. Instead, he grabs the neutral. He turns the objectives to neutral, buying a heap of time. He was hoping they could rotate down as a group to try and grab bot, but it was too late. The entire enemy team was down there, not worth the risk. So instead, they're using the time that they gather to lower the boss's health as much as possible so that they don't have to deal with that and the Zerg wave. Instead, just have to deal with one after the other. But the boss still have a lot of health. They're still able to push in with just under a quarter health on the boss, which is going to give them some great siege onto this keep. Will likely drop it before the Zerg actually lose too many members.
That is brutal indeed. If the keep falls without the Zergs even arriving, that means your core is going to be in some serious trouble. And it looks like XTeam is going for the kill here. The Banelings are coming in. Muradin jumps in a last effort to keep their base alive. Zul'jin using that Tazdingo as well, but I don't think it's going to be enough, Tetcher.
The Aegis is dropped. Zul'jin tried to stay alive, but the Detainment Strike catches him as well. Sorry, not the Detainment Strike, the knockback anyway. We're seeing Zarya in retreat, but it's not enough. The core gets dropped by the Zerg, and that is going to be GG. And XTeam will take game number 1. And Zul'jin was cool to see, but like we said, lack of wave clear. And even with the Aegis dropped on him at the end there, he just did not have enough sustain, was just completely burst down. We doubted the Lunara damage again. Yeah. And it was just so good every time. We need to start believing.